Ciao a tutti, mi chiamo Charlotte e oggi vi presento 5 proverbi in italiano. Ok? Andiamo. Hello everyone, my name's Charlotte and today we'll be looking at 5 Italian language proverbs. So, if you're part of my Italian language club, this is my monthly language video tutorial, and you'll be receiving a document that looks a little bit like this via email later today. So in this document I'll be giving you 10 proverbs that you can look at and you can do exercises on. You can look up a bit of further information with some of the links I provide in the document. But in this video we'll just be looking at 5 of those proverbs. So this video should help you to widen your Italian cultural understanding. So these are expressions that are in everyday use. It will also help your pronunciation, and I'm going to then study some structures within the language content which you can sort of borrow and apply elsewhere. Okay, so it should be quite useful. First thing I'm going to do is to read out the 5 proverbs, and then afterwards we'll look at them on the whiteboard. Okay? Andiamo, ok, numero 1. Voi ascoltate, ok? Quando il gatto non c'è, i topi ballano. Quando il gatto non c'è, i topi ballano. Un po' più veloce, sì? Quando il gatto non c'è, i topi ballano. Ok, numero 2. L'erba del vicino è sempre più verde. L'erba del vicino è sempre più verde. Verde vuol dire questo colore qui. Un po' più veloce. L'erba del vicino è sempre più verde. L'erba del vicino è sempre più verde. Ok? Numero 3. 1, 2, 3. Ok. La mela non cade mai lontano dall'albero. Ok? Lo conoscete? La mela, ho anche trovato una mela. La mela non cade mai lontano dall'albero. Okay, so that's the third one. In fact, I'll just do that one a little bit faster. La mela non cade mai lontano dall'albero. Okay? Maybe you're starting to think, oh, some of these I can figure out what their equivalents are in English or in whatever language it is that you speak. So that's good. Non è tutto oro quello che luccica. Non è tutto oro quello che luccica. Non è tutto oro quello che luccica. Ok, non è tutto oro quello che luccica. Numero 5, so this is the last one. Chi dorme non piglia pesci. Chi dorme non piglia pesci. Chi dorme non piglia pesci. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to move around the camera like this. And I'm going to just put the light on over here, and then we'll probably zoom in a little bit. Okay, so there'll be a bit of clicking around. So if you can't see that very, very clearly, I'll just bring it a little forward. And what I'll probably end up doing is also writing. Oh, I think that's going to be okay. Sì, credo di sì, okay? Just playing around here with a bit of lighting and stuff. Okay, andiamo. Right, so I've got my little red pen. I can always go over it if it's not obvious. So this is the first one. Quando il gatto non c'è, i topi ballano. So there's a nice equivalent for this one in English. So in English we would say, when the cat's away, mice will play. I like that one. So, you know, more or less means if a person in a position of authority isn't around, you know, people might behave differently, you know, a bit more relaxedly, or, you know, that kind of thing. So it's quite a nice one, and of course it kind of translates across from Italian to the English more or less the same. So quando, that means when. Q and EU is always going to be a qua sound, okay, like in English when you say question. Quando, questo, quello, etc. Okay? Quando il gatto, so cat is a masculine noun there. Il gatto, let's go forward a bit. Quando il gatto non c'è. Okay, so this is the important bit, I think. Non c'è. So, just to recap if it's not obvious, in Italian you can put non in front of any verb phrase to make it negative. So if I were to say, for example, sono britannica, and then I wanted to say I'm not British, I just put non in front of the sono bit, okay? So non sono britannica. If I said I'm tall, sono alta. Oh. Sono anche vecchia. Sono anche, scusa, sono alta e vecchia. I don't know, I'm tall and I'm getting old, obviously, if I'm clicking. I could say, with non in front of it, I'm not tall or I'm not old. Non sono alta. Non sono vecchia. So you just put non in front of a verb phrase. Doesn't matter what conjugation it is. Non in front of it makes it negative. So quando il gatto non c'è, that means when the cat is not there. Okay, so when a cat's not there, it basically means the cat is away. Okay. I topi. Okay, so let me just go over that. I topi. Oh, I've got a few things to say about topi. So the first thing is un topo is a mouse, and I topi is mice, like the mice will play. You also need to know that there's a famous character in Italian, Topolino. In English, Mickey Mouse. Okay, so Topolino is the name for Mickey Mouse, and it means little mouse. It's a really cute name. So, quando il gatto non c'è, I topi ballano. Right, let me go over the whole thing. Scusa. So, number one, quando il gatto non c'è. Quando il gatto non c'è. What does non c'è mean? When the cat is not there. So, c'è means there is or is there. And non c'è means there is not or is not there. Okay? Now, I'm sorry about the back of my head for a sec. Scusa. But there you go. Quando il gatto non c'è, I topi ballano. Ballano. Okay, so in English we say when the cat's away, the mice will play. So you might think that it would be giocano, like they play, in the they form, in agreement with I topi, but actually it's a slightly different verb. It's the verb ballare. Okay, so un ballo is a ball, as in not a little ball that you throw, but a dance. Okay, a ball that she will go to the ball, that kind of ball. Okay, think of the word ballet. Okay, that comes from well, that's French, but ballet or going to the ball. The verb ballare, okay, so, or ballerina, there you go, ballerina. They're all linked to the verb ballare, okay? So the English words that we use that are related to dance might help you remember that ballare means to dance. So when the cat isn't there, or when it's away, the mice dance. Okay, numero uno, ecco. Okay, I like that one. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, what could this mean? L'erba del vicino è sempre più verde. Okay, I'm going to turn the board around a little bit and just write over that and let you look at the words. Okay, l'erba, that's an apostrophe there. So erba is a word that starts with an E. So it starts with a vowel, and what happens with words in Italian that start with vowels is that instead of putting il or la in front of them, the articles il or la, you have L apostrophe. Okay, so that tells you that you don't always know, just by looking at the article, what the gender of that noun is. This one's kind of obvious though. It ends with an A, l'erba. So that tells you that it's a feminine noun, okay? That's not always the case. For example, il problema ends with an A, but it's an il word. So the problem is il problema. The same goes for il sistema. There's a few like that which have il as the article, but there's an A at the end of it in spite of it being masculine. But this one here is a nice regular feminine word, l'erba. So this means the grass, as in grass on a lawn or growing in a field. So l'erba del vicino, you can probably guess what that is in English. L'erba, because there's a very famous proverb, the grass is always greener, or the full thing, the grass is always greener on the other side. That means, more or less, people often, or some people might think that circumstances could be better for other people. This is to do with envy, basically. The grass is always greener. You always sort of want what you don't have. So this is very, very similar, the translation, but so that's what it means. L'erba del vicino è sempre. So l'erba del vicino. What's this del vicino bit? Because there's nothing here about the other side, like in the English proverb. L'erba del vicino. So here we have the combined pronoun del, which is di plus il. Di plus il. So the reason you've got il, or the reason del appears, is because il vicino would be the neighbour. So this means the neighbour's grass, right? This is to do with keeping up with the Joneses, I guess, isn't it? You always want what your neighbours have, better car, bigger house, that kind of thing. So this is to do with possession of the neighbour, grass of the neighbour. Di più il fa del. Okay, so di plus il equals del. So you could have l'erba della vicina if you wanted to. I mean, that's not the expression, but vicino means neighbour, a male neighbour. Vicina means a female neighbour. So if it was, I don't know, the female neighbour's car, right? That would be la macchina della, with an extra L and an A, and then vicina with an A on the end. Okay, but that's, I'm just showing you how you can change that structure and apply it to something else. So of the plus a noun, noun, combined preposition, then another noun, helps you to talk about the possession of an object by someone. Okay? Anyway, l'erba del vicino è sempre. What does è sempre mean? Is, it is, this agrees with the grass. The neighbour's grass is always, sempre, più, now this here, più plus an adjective. So here we have the colour, verde. Okay, so we probably know that. Verde is like a very well-known colour word. Here it is, like my green pen, la penna verde. It doesn't matter whether it's talking about l'erba, like the grass, or la penna, or la mela, or il telefonino, il tavolo. It doesn't matter what the thing is that you're calling green or describing as green. The word is always verde with an E on the end in the singular. Okay, let's just go and have a little look at that. Eccolo qua. So when you have adjectives, granted that's a colour word, but when you have an adjective that ends in an E, like felice, or verde, or triste, I can't think of any others, then they stay, they're the same in the feminine or the masculine. So normally you have like alto, alta, alti, for example, alte. But in the singular, instead of an O or an A, verde is always an E, just like felice. So it doesn't matter whether you use it for something that's masculine or feminine. That's why L'erba is più verde. L'erba del vicino è sempre più verde. Also here we have più plus an adjective. So you could say più felice, più grande. Ooh, grande is another one with an E at the end, okay? Più alto, più alta. Okay, so più plus an adjective means more something. So it either means more green or it can mean greener. Right? In English we put ER at the end of adjectives often. Or it might be IER. Happier. Sadder. Don't hear that one very often. Greener, redder, more red, redder, you know? So più verde, and the sort of opposite of that is meno. Più is like plus, meno minus. Okay? So più and meno. I'll just write meno there as well. So we've seen quando il gatto non c'è, I topi, mice, ballano. Okay, they dance. And then we saw l'erba del vicino è sempre più verde. So your neighbour's grass or your neighbour's lawn is always greener. Grass is always greener on the other side. Next one. Lamella. Lamella. Okay, so we've got an apple here. Lamella. So think about a proverb that starts with the apple. Okay, let's see how this one works then. Lamella. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. Okay. Lamella non cade mai lontano dall'albero. Okay, so I'm just going to fill this in and I'm going to say it a few times and you can have a think about the meaning. Lamella non cade mai. Non cade mai. The apple non cade mai. So non and mai. Non cade mai. So we've got non and mai around a verb, and the verb is cadere. Cadere is to fall. Okay, so mai means never. Sometimes it can translate as never. Mai, never ever. Lamella non cade mai. Non and mai wrapped around a verb basically means never. So, and sometimes you hear mai on its own, but generally it accompanies non. Lamella non cade mai, it never falls. So the apple never falls far from the tree. Okay, so this literally is word for word, I think, the same as the proverb in English. So lontano, lontano, vicino. Strangely, that word there, vicino, which is a noun in that sentence, vicino there means a neighbour. Vicino as the opposite of lontano would mean close or near. So the opposite, vicino and lontano, are words that are basically antonyms. But here, the apple never falls far from the tree. So this means far, and its opposite would be vicino, which means near or close, if it's an adjective. So in the one before we saw più or meno. Here, look, più or meno plus an adjective. So if I wanted to say further or more far, I could say più lontano. Pisa è più lontano. Pisa is further away. Napoli è più vicino. Naples or Napoli is closer, more close. Less close, meno vicino, più vicino. It's quite a useful one. So they're adjectives. Lamella non cade mai lontano dall'albero. Okay, so from the tree, we've got another combined preposition here. So this happens all over the place in Italian. We've got del, dall, nel, sul, sulla, sugli, suoi. There's all these different kind of sounds which might be a little bit similar, but they don't always sound the same. Del, della, deli, etc. Dal, dalla, dall apostrophe, dagli, ah. So if you know the basic, unchanged, uncombined prepositions like da, you should be able to guess how to use them after a little bit of reading and a little bit of listening and a little bit of this kind of practice. So we've got the noun albero. Albero, that means tree. Okay? Un albero, a tree or one tree. So when, this is a bit like the word erba, which is just up there actually. So grass, tree, you know, you find them near each other, it's worth knowing them. L'erba is a masculine, sorry, l'erba is a feminine noun of the grass. It starts with a vowel, it's got an E at the beginning, and then it's got an L apostrophe in front of it, which means the grass. Here we have albero, which is a masculine noun. The ending with an O tells you that it's masculine. So if we had the tree, it would be l'albero, L apostrophe, albero. Okay, in fact I can write it down here, because I've got loads and loads of little whiteboards, precisely for this reason. That's the reflection of my light lick. Eccolo. Albero becomes l'albero. So from there, we've got the preposition da, which means from. Mostly it means from. And then we've got l'albero, from the tree. Da plus l'albero becomes dall'albero. Okay, let me just amend this so that that makes sense on there. Dall'albero. Okay, so D-A-L-L apostrophe albero. Dall'albero, from the tree. L'amello non cade mai lontano dall'albero. Well done. Okay, excellent. So let's look at number 4. Andiamo avanti. Let's go a little bit further ahead. So we've had 1, 2, 3 adesso non è. Ooh, this one. This is very similar to the English version. Okay, non è. Non è, that means it is not. Non è tutto. Ooh, tutto. What does tutto mean? Tutto. Tutto. Tutto means everything or all. Okay, so tutto oro. Ooh. This is not only a colour, oro, but it's also a noun, oro. Oro, okay? This little anello, for example, is di oro, d'oro. Okay, this is a gold ring. And gold is not only the colour, but the material, so it's a noun, okay? Non è tutto oro. I think you might be starting to think about what proverb this is. Quello che, now there's a few different versions of this that I found. I found quel che, and I found quello che, and I've also found ciò che. But basically, quello che means that which, okay? Luccica. Luccica. Okay, so let me see. I'm sorry I've been getting in the way when I've been going over that, but I think it is worth doing just so that you can see. So, non è tutto oro, 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 quello che luccica. Okay, so we've got a negative here, we've got a negation in front of the verb essere, and that's in the third person singular. It is not all gold, that which. Okay, luccica, luccicare, to let me think about this, to sparkle or glisten, okay? So in English, all that glitters is not gold. I have to think for a second. All that glitters is not gold. So that's the equivalent, and here we have not everything is gold that glistens or sparkles. Luccicare. So there's a double C here, which might make you think luccica, but actually the double C is followed by an I, so it becomes luccica. bit like cappuccino. There's two C's, which is normally a K sound, but there's an I following it, which makes it a C. Cappuccino. Okay, let's look at the last one, the last one. L'ultima frase, l'ultimo proverbo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm glad we've got this one in here because even though it doesn't sort of literally translate over, I don't think, like the English equivalent, it's got a little key at the beginning. Chi. Okay, key. And lots of proverbs start with key. And it's also a useful little function, so it's something I wanted to mention. Oh, I hope you can all hear me now, because I'm turning my back on the mic. Okay. Andiamo. So, okay. Chi dorme non piglia pesci. Chi dorme non piglia pesci. So that little chi at the beginning, followed by a verb in the third person, chi dorme non piglia pesci, translates into English as whoever, or often he who, right? He who dorme, from dormire, to sleep. He who sleeps, non something fish. Okay, so he who sleeps will not catch fish. Pesci. Or fishes. Piglia is from pigliare. Just double check the translation of pigliare because it can mean to grab or to seize or to catch. Pigliare, let's see if I can find. Yeah, to grab, to get, to pluck, to snatch, or even to snag. Snag me a fish. So pigliare is the verb. This is the main thing though, really. Chi plus dorme. In fact, I might give you another one, which is very similar and very famous. Chi osa. This is one of my favourite, actually. Chi osa vince. Chi osa vince. So, if that can mean whoever, or he who, or it can also mean those who, right? Those who something. So we've got two verbs here. You could put a little comma there if you wanted to. It's not necessary. But chi dorme non piglia pesci basically translates as, well, I can't really think of the exact one, but I think it's something like you snooze, you lose, and that's not very eloquent, but it's got the sleep element. You know, if you're not awake and active and doing things, being proactive, then you're not going to get what's on offer. Okay, that's a little bit like this one. Who dares wins. It's not quite the same, but basically you've got to be, you have to be in it to win it. You see, there's loads. That one's good because it rhymes, obviously, in English, but if you want something close to this one in terms of structure and you know, content, the verb there, to sleep, then you would probably use you snooze, you lose. Okay, this one here I like though because the chi can translate as whoever, or it can translate as he who, or what else? Who dares wins. He who dares wins. Whoever dares wins. Those who. Okay. Now, this key thing is also the, it's like an interrogative, isn't it? It's, you know, you've got quando means when, and chi means who, like, chi è? Chi è la porta? Chi sei? Who are you? Chi è lei? Who is she? So it's like a question word, chi, C-H-I. But it can also be used in that way when you're making a statement. Oh, those who, like people who do something else. Like chi osa vince, people who dare win. Or chi parla Italiano, va spesso in Italia. Those who speak Italian often go to Italy. So that's not a great example, but you can use it in that way. Chi. So it's not always a question word. It's the way that you can say whoever or those who do something. You'll see it often in texts that are written about, I don't know, like printed texts that are printed in like magazines. Those who eat healthily live longer, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's go back down to chi osa vince, because even though it's like a supplementary one, it's quite a good one. It's got the key thing. It's followed by the third person verb, third person conjugation in the present tense. This is from osare, to dare, to do something. And then vincere, that's the verb to win. Vincere, so a C and an E there makes a che sound. And remember, in luccicare, the C, even a double C followed by an I is a chi sound. Okay, so let's just go over those ones. I'll zoom out. Eccomi, here I am. Okay, so let's just go over them again and see if you can pronounce them after me, okay? Ok, numero 1. Quando il gatto non c'è, i topi ballano. Ancora una volta. Quando il gatto non c'è, i topi ballano. 2. L'erba del vicino è sempre più verde, ok? L'erba del vicino è sempre più verde. Ok. Ok, third one. La mela non cade mai lontano dall'albero. La mela non cade mai lontano dall'albero. 4. Non è tutto oro quello che luccica. Non è tutto oro quello che luccica. Oh, I forgot to show you. Mela. And the last one, l'ultima frase. Chi dorme non piglia pesci. Okay? Chi dorme non piglia pesci. I like that one, it kind of rolls off the tongue. Chi dorme non piglia pesci. It's the GLI sound, lia, or GLIA, like in tagliatelle, for example. GLI is a li sound, but with an A at the end it's lia, lia. Piglia, from pigliare, to grab or to catch. Okay, grazie mille. I hope that was useful to you. If you can think of any better or alternative counterpart translations for these in your language or in English, let me know. If you want to join my club, just feel free to get in touch. Find the information in the description underneath this video. Feel free to give me a like if this was useful, subscribe to the channel, share the video around, and let me know if you find any other useful proverbs in Italian that you like, okay? I'm always looking at the comments, and I'm really keen to learn and to hear from you. Grazie mille e alla prossima volta. Ciao!